Hi guys. With everybody in CrossFit world anyway doing Murph this weekend, I just thought that I would do a little stretch out for post Murph or even the days afterwards if you don't get it directly after it. I've been working up to it in the last few weeks, so these are the stretches that have just really helped me, and maybe they'll help you too. I don't know, join me. So if it's straight after your run and you've just finished it, you've done everything else obviously, and it's after the last run, should I say, give yourself a stretch out. Give it just a little bit of a movement. If you're trying to catch your breath again, that's fine. Grab your hands and just open them out, crossing it under like a little hug of yourself. Just a few times, open as wide as they will. It might not be this wide right now if you've just finished. As you catch your breath, just let that kind of slow down and open out. Thumbs towards the sky, stretch it. Push strongly down through your feet so that you're nice and strong here. Open, and then thumbs down, same thing, go back as much as you can. Let your breath be nice and comfortable and soften it down. We're going to come to a downward facing dog. So plant your hands shoulder width or wider, bum up towards the sky, and just get moving in the legs first. So bend one knee, stretch the opposite heel towards the earth. Strong in the arms. I know they're going to be tired, but it's good to just get a little bit of strength so that we can use the upper body strength for the legs at the minute, and then we'll change it up and we'll stretch out the arms. Now draw the right heel towards the mat and cross the left ankle just over it. So really push the hands down as you lift the bum up and bring all that energy down into that right heel. It's a deep stretch in that right calf. If it's too much, back off. If not, take another breath. Switching it up, bring the left leg down, draw the left heel to the mat and cross it if you can with the right. Keep lifting the bum up and back, keep bringing all that energy into the left heel. Again, if it's too much, pause, stop, whatever feels good. Excellent. Bring both legs down again, a little bit of movement, and then softly bring your knees to the ground. Keep your hips over your knees. Come up onto your fingertips and walk your hands as far, even shimmy them even further if you can. And then see that little stretch. The bum is going up and back, and see how much you can stretch here. Fingertips down really strong. Keep the elbows lifted and soften your head through. Might not go all the way to the mat, but it might. Just feel that stretch. Take another few breaths. You might be up kind of tall, you might be up here, doesn't matter where you are, just allow yourself to stretch it out, wherever that is. Bring the upper body up first, slowly bring your hands back, and we're going to come all the way to the mat. So bend your elbows and release. If you've just finished, that would be nice. Once you come to the mat, you're going to stretch your left arm out about shoulder height. Stretch it all the way out. Now this is going to be different for everybody. Bend your right knee, and you're going to, with the aid of your right hand, you're just going to start to turn over. So the whole hand, arm and shoulder might be planted, and you turn to look over to the right. Your right foot might touch the ground, it might not. Maybe it's closer to touching your foot, or it's your anchor. Take a few breaths. You can look to the mat, look straight ahead, or look up to the sky to stretch the neck. It might also be just a small turn. It might just be as far as here. Doesn't matter how far you go, take that stretch. Come all the way back through to center. Stretch the right arm out, shoulder height. Bend the left elbow. And again, then bend your left knee. And hike yourself over towards the right. Might be more intense on one side than the other. This is way more intense than the other side for me. Just breathe. So it's the hand, the arm, and maybe the shoulder as well is planted here. And you're only opening your chest up as comfortable as it is. If it's too much, back off. Again, maybe plant both feet together or even turn closer to the mat. You decide. Just breathe, let your body recover. Coming all the way back down. So for this one, you might need a strap. You might not. If you have a strap or anything, a rope or anything really, just make a little knot so that you can have a little hook, so you can hook your foot in. You may or may not need that, but let's have it here just in case. When you're on the mat this time, just come up with your chest a little bit, place your right hand down so you have a bit of support. We're going to turn slightly over onto that right hip, bend your left knee and grab your left foot. Once you've that grabbed, you can come back to center. So if you're here and you're like, I'm not going to be able to grab it, place that circle on your foot and come back, and you can bring it over your shoulder. So you're getting a nice deep stretch. You can stretch it as much as you comfortably can. And again, if you're holding the foot, same thing. Just come back to the center. Your belly is engaged a little bit here so that we're not in a back bend. You can even come all the way to the mat. It's more about the quad here. So think of the front of the hip pushing down into the earth. Taking a stretch, and remember, it might be that you're holding the foot towards the bum if you can. You might be surrendered completely. You might be up. Excellent. Switch sides. Just remove that if you need or want. Just roll onto your right a little bit. So same thing on the opposite side. Plant your left hand first for a little support really. Roll onto your left side. Grab your left foot. Bring it towards your bum and then roll yourself back nice and safely. Again, if you're here, you couldn't grab your right foot. If you can, bring it towards your bum. If you couldn't grab it, turn a little bit to your side for a bit of support. Place it onto the foot. Bring the foot towards the bum as much as you can. And either completely release into the stretch or lift it up a little bit. You decide. Belly in and breathe. Making the stretch even more intense. If you think awareness into that right hip, so the front of the hip, draw it down into the mat, draw the quad down into the mat. And if you want to lift the quad up, if that's what suits you. Everyone is going to be a little bit different. Different tightness, different feelings. Excellent. Slowly release that. Nice and carefully. This time we're going to do the same, basically the same thing, but we're going to do it with a bent elbow. So with the elbow bent, elbow can be slightly above shoulder height or in line. I like slightly above. And then again, try to bend your right elbow. Start to turn over onto your left side. You can bend your right foot here and try to bring it over as well. It's too intense for me. I can't. So I can bend my right foot and I can just turn a little bit. My shoulder will not meet the earth for this. So it's a little bit different with the bent elbow. It might be too intense. But just hike yourself up onto those right fingertips and turn to your comfort. Maybe both legs down. Maybe you can turn a little bit more. Breathe. It is intense. Notice if you need to go higher with the elbow or more in line with the shoulder. Come all the way back to center. Bend the right elbow, right hand straight. Again, high or low, you decide. Take a little movement and see how it feels. Bend the left hand. Use your fingertips for support. If you want to bend the left knee, do so and see about rolling over. It might be too intense. It might be okay. Maybe you look to the sky, maybe you don't. Just breathe. And remember, if you need to go further, do. If you need to back it up, make sure you do. Come back to center. Plant your hands about chest height. Slowly pull yourself up to hands and knees. Just one time open your chest in and inhale. And as you exhale around the spine, we're going to stay here for a moment. So push strongly into your hands, bring your chin to your chest, and just open up that upper back. Take a few breaths here in the cat position. So the upper spine is really rounding. Puff up through the back of the heart. Draw your chin towards your chest. Draw your belly towards your spine. Nice comfortable breaths. Come back to neutral. And then we're going to sit back onto the heels. So if the quads are too tight and this doesn't feel good, you can always sit up onto the knees. Same thing. If quads are okay, you might come back because it will stretch them, just sitting back onto the heels like that if you can. So from this position, just take a nice deep shoulder roll all the way up, back and down. Grab onto strap, blanket, anything, even a top, and just leave a bit of resistance here. Bring it about, hands about wider than shoulders, maybe a little bit wider. Take a deep roll of the shoulders up, back and down, draw the belly in, open the chest. And then with the hands here, pull them away from each other. So making whatever it is, your top, your strap, your rope, make it real taut and just pull it away, open the chest, maybe look straight ahead. Some people might want to look up, but don't overarch here. Make the core of the body, the trunk of the body strong. So that we're really isolating the muscles that we want to stretch here. And then release it completely. And then one more time, open it out. This time as you've it open, slowly draw your right ear towards your right shoulder. It's going to be an intense stretch on the left side. Keep pulling those hands apart. Come back to center. Left ear towards left shoulder. It might be intense, you might need to back off a bit. And come back through to center. Soften it out and shake it out. It's a nice little release in them. Bring your hands up to shoulder height. Bend your elbows. See if you can bring your hands to touch. Now you might be very tight, it might be the hands here that touch, or you might be able to bring the elbows to touch. I really can't anymore with that workout this week. So hands might touch. I want you to think chin to chest, round that spine, just like you did in cat-cow. So deep round, pushing the upper back backwards. If the hands touch, same thing. Take another breath. And then we're going to open it out, so opposite way, bend the elbows out to the side, open, draw them back as much as you can, take the stretch here. Belly is in slightly, front ribs drawing down slightly so that we're not overarching, but we're getting a good stretch. Excellent. Place your fingertips down. If you're on your heels or not, just tuck your toes under, start to walk yourself slowly back. Keep a deep bend in the knees and forward. You can bend your knees so much that your belly will touch your thighs, so you might need to have a really deep bend in the knees as if you're going to sit down. Just let your head and neck flop here, guys. It needs to be released after all of that. You can nod for yes and shake the head for no. And then start to slowly straighten the legs. They don't have to straighten completely, they can stay bent. Just try to lift a little bit and then re-bend, refold. And then fingertips down on the ground or maybe up higher. Just straighten one leg and bend the opposite. Excellent. And the next time that your right knee is bent, place your left hand down and reach that right arm towards the sky. Slowly come back down, switch it up, bend the left knee, right hand plants. Left arm up. Doesn't have to be too intense, just a little twist. All the way back down. Bend your knees, roll up through the whole body. Take an inhale and stretch. And exhale, hands all the way down. Excellent. Give yourself a shake out, and that should do, you guys. Thanks for practicing with me. I hope the stretching helps, and best of luck, or well done with Murph, whichever you've done or not done yet. And yeah, I'm going to do it tomorrow, I think. Best of luck. Thank you. Namaste.